What's going on, everybody? My name is Paul. Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to talk about how you can acquire more sales through identifying targets and placements in your campaign that have a low percentage of top of search impression share. So let's dive right into it, because time is of the essence. So I'm not a seller myself, but I have over 6 years of experience as a full-time contractor, independent contractor, and operate in accounts. Obviously that is not my money that I'm spending, but I have a proven track record of lowering TACoS and growing sales. For example, when I was a white label service provider for HR management, we grew, not just me, obviously. PPC is just the last piece of the puzzle. Obviously, PPC is way easier if you have an excellent product, but we successfully grew, brands, accounts, for example, from Basic Research, which is a $60 million company, which is public information. If you're skeptic, just Google it. From 600K to over $1 million a month while we lower TACoS. That's the truth. I invite you to either text the company, text me on LinkedIn, so I provide point of contacts. I'm saying that because a lot of people might be lying, and I want to proactively differentiate myself from people who are lying about their, case studies, so you can verify that I'm speaking the truth, because I'm always speaking the truth. That's just important for me. Obviously, we also have more case studies, but another one is, for example, when I was working for Celix, we achieved an additional 48K. In Germany, you always say 48 and 84 backwards. But long story short, we generated 148K in 64 days at an ACoS of 4.12%. I don't know the total sales numbers because some clients don't want you to know that. But another one, this is from a company that I'm working with right now. We are growing, sales 30% year over year. This month to date, while TACoS is up 3.85%, and more importantly, the profitability is up, because as you can see, here's the profitability for last year, and this is obviously for this year. So I'm just saying this because it's just interesting to see that, for example, in week 1 we had lower revenue but more profit, compared to higher revenue and lower profit. And I'm saying this because I work with 8-figure brands who think they know everything, that are basically not tracking profitability on SKU level week over week, and are not just tracking it. So it's just interesting to see. Sometimes the intuitive belief is that more revenue equals more profit, but that's not the case. Sometimes lower revenue equals more profit. So if you're not tracking that, then I highly encourage you to track it. Long story short, I'm just telling you this to, prove to you that the tactics we're going to talk about in this video are working. So let's dive right into that. So first of all, you can either use the reports in Amazon, or, I like to use Scale Insights. It really comes down to you. In the beginning, I always was using the reports, but I personally found that it was just really time consuming and not streamlined. And if you're managing hundreds of SKUs, it's just hard, to draw reports, because it's not a revenue generating activity. So I like to use a tool like Scale Insights, but you can use any tool that you like. And first, I like to go to advertising trends so first you go onto Ads Insights, and then you go into advertising trends. So first, I just like to look at the state of an account, and this is where goal setting, let me just make myself smaller here, really comes into play, because it really depends what your goal is, right? I know a lot of 7, 8, and even 9-figure brands that are not really clear about their goals, that just set TACoS goals of 12%, but they don't ever give their employees revenue growth goals, and then wonder why revenue is not growing. Yeah, because you didn't give them a target to optimize for, but that would obviously cause people to take self-responsibility and find the error by themselves instead of outside. But in general, I just like to look at, okay, how is my account performing? Are we on target or are we off target? Because if, for example, let's say our TACoS goal is 12%, then I know, okay, we have a lot, we have a little bit of room to operate. But even if we're over TACoS, I would still optimize the, I would still optimize for, placements with, or targets with a low percentage of top of search impression share if. So before we talk about why, we go into ads insights, and then I like to go into performance, and then I would go into placements. And I just want to get a fear for, when I go sales descending, well, we have a pretty good mix here. There's no clear winner. Next, I would look into a placement, performance observation sheet, or however you want to call it, that with link down below. First, I just want to identify. This is just a Google sheet that you can download down below. It's not perfect. It's just something that I wrote down on the site. But you can basically see, period over period, that, basically how much spent and how much sales you're generating per segment of keywords in a certain range of performance, right? This is not perfect, as I said, but this is just an indicator, because over time, obviously, the percentage of spend should be shifted towards the segment with the highest loss, so the lowest ACoS. And we want to obviously shift budget away from like higher ACoS segments. So again, this is not like perfect, but for example here, we can see, okay, we shifted budget from like the 30 to 40% segment towards the lower segments, right? This is again hard to correlate, but it's kind of like the hunt for the needle in the haystack. But we can see, okay, in general, you have been increasing spend for the segment of targets with ACoS between 10 to 20%, and we have been granted we have like less spend allocated towards the segment between 0 to 10, but in general we can also see that our total spend has decreased. This is just an idea, but overall, you just need a system that is tracking if your bid optimization is getting the spend towards lower ACoS segments at the end of the day. And one of my favorite ways to do this is just in Scale Insights. I do this once a week. I go into Ads Insights, and then I like to go into, you click up here and you go into Advertising Trends, and you go into Performance, and then you can go into Keywords. And then what I love about Scale Insights is that you can obviously see the top of search impression share. Though if you have structured your campaigns and organized them efficiently, then you could go ahead, if you have single ASIN campaigns or ad group, you can then filter for the ASIN in the name of the campaign and select all. Obviously it's just like the word, but you get the point. I hope so. And then you could say, okay, I want to focus on all keywords under my target ACoS, let's say of 20% or like 25%. It's just an idea to get you thinking, but it really also depends on ASIN level. Okay, are you on your defined TACoS goal, and do you want to even push more aggressively? You could go to keyword rank tracking. Once you're on keyword rank tracking, you can identify, okay, is my ASIN or my SKU, whatever, same thing, on my TACoS goal. If yes, I would go ahead more and be more aggressive. If no, I would be a little bit more careful, but having that segment analysis in mind, you still want to allocate budget towards more efficient segments. And next I would look at, next I would evaluate how I am performing for the placements. So for that, you can use the bar files. That's currently not in Scale Insights, but I've requested the feature, or it's in Scale Insights and just haven't found it yet. But long story short, we just go to placement, and don't be intimidated of the bar files of Excel. It's not rocket science. We're not SpaceX. We're not shooting boosters into orbit. Sorry, that hurt your ego, but that's just the truth. That's their humble. And then I like to, insert a pivot table and create a new sheet. Once we have, created the new sheet, then we're looking for the placements. and you put the placements into rows, and then you just look at your spend, and just like all the metrics that you want to look at. Again, pivot tables are not really rocket science. You just want to get an estimate of how efficient you are performing for, obviously here we want to get the average, how efficient, I'm not sure, I don't think that's weighted ACOS, but long story short, I just want to get a sense for, okay, how efficient are we? Let's actually check if this is weighted. Look, it's not weighted. So like, look at this, right? This is only the average, not the weighted. But now we just want to focus on, okay, I just want to get a sense for how efficient is top of search performing, and top of search is performing the best when it comes to ACOS other than placement, business placements. And then I just want to get a sense, okay, what's my percentage of spend? Again, sorry, but like this is just basic arithmetic, mathematical operations. It's not really advanced arithmetics. I just want to get a sense for, better lock the range, is it, okay, it's pretty, well, that does make sense. Hey, it does make sense, but then where's, okay, you shouldn't use the bark files. Yeah, sorry, see, I made a mistake, but hey, at least I show my mistakes, because everybody's making mistakes, and people who never show their mistakes, they have a problem with their ego, so let's just use bidding, because obviously we get all the other rows, and then create a new tab, insert it here. Okay, it's loaded, and now we only have the placement, and now we can insert pivot table. Again, don't be intimidated by Excel or pivot tables, because it's not rocket science. You can learn it. We're not SpaceX, it's not as hard as you believe it to be, which some people now will hate me for saying that, but at the end of the day, I don't care about the haters. I only care about that you become more efficient. Some people might already know that. Again, okay, ACOS, that is not, obviously if you use, even if you use average, this is not the weighted ACOS, so you just have to insert, you can also, add a, calculated field up here, but who cares, and then you just want to see what placement is performing the best, and surprise, top of search is performing the best. And now you just want to get an idea for what's the percentage of spend for these, and now Control Shift, and again, Excel is not, we're not rocket scientists, so we can see that the majority of the spend is already being allocated to top of search, which is good, but we just want to, the majority it's pretty balanced. But in general, obviously, some people might say you want to have it balanced. I completely disagree. I think that makes no sense. I want to have the most spend where we have the lowest ACOS. Of course, it's never going to be perfect, but in this scenario, we know, okay, let's push more spend towards top of search. And then you can go to, you can see, okay, what is my percentage of the impressions that are from top of search? Again, here's the definition, the metric is defined as the percentage of top of search impressions your campaign received out of the total top of search impressions it was eligible for. So we know we have the best performance for top of search, but for all of these targets, we didn't even get 1% of the top of search impressions. Like, bro, we need more impressions here, so you can use your target, or for example, if you, like we said, have a good tacos goal, then we can just focus on, all of these targets. Now you could go ahead and just, increase the bid, like manually, and then just track like period over period, if it's performing better, or if we're shifting, a segment of spend, like a bigger segment of spend towards our most important placement. And the truth is, we should run this on portfolio level, because every portfolio will obviously have a segmented performance. And then you can go to bidding rule, and you could say, that's why I love Scale Insights, because you can create a new rule, and you can say that everywhere where we have less than 5% of top of search impression share, you can then say you want to specifically focus on that segment and push that segment more. I covered that in previous videos. I will create a separate video on like the walkthrough, but if you're familiar with a PPC tool, then this will probably be pretty clear to you. So yeah, this is it for today. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye.